Welcome to the Tarot Coven Cast. Real people, real talk, real magic. Hello out there, lovely listeners, and welcome to the Tarot Coven Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jasmine.
And I'm Elena.
And I'm Jaconovia.
And this time on the show, we're bidding adieu to Season 2. Yes, that's right. It's our Season 2 finale, and we're wrapping things up with a quick trip down memory lane, followed by a real-time tarot reading using the Tarot Coven Tarot Spread. And then we're just going to pull some random cards just for fun. But first, we wanted to say a big thank you to one of our newest patrons, Hot Celtic Cluster. We are so happy to have you with us in the Patreon Coven, and we love that you came up with such a fun nickname.
Yes, and thank you for sharing with us how you came up with it. That was just so fun to read.
Yes. And, if you would like a shout out on the show, which you can use to debut your very cool new code name, or just use your regular name, or you can, promote your Instagram, you can promote a podcast, you can do whatever you would like with the shout out. All you need to do is come check out our Patreon page for more details on how to do that. And speaking of Hot Celtic Cluster, we got a question from them today on our Instagram. So we're going to hit that question first before we dive into some favorite episodes and then the reading. So the question is, how do you properly dispose of old tarot cards?
That made me sad because I would be so sad to get rid of a tarot deck, and I haven't gotten to that point where I feel like I would want to get rid of a tarot deck. However, there is some that I didn't resonate with or that I felt like okay to let go, and I just regifted those. I would just say follow your intuition. If you feel like a deck is just no longer of use and you just don't even feel like it's giftable, or you just think something's off with it, then just if you feel like the deck is holding some kind of negative energy that you can't release, I would definitely not throw it away inside your house or on your property, but probably drop it, if you can, I don't know, at another garbage, a public garbage maybe. Or I know some people like to do stuff at the crossroads, at a crossroads, but I guess it just depends on why, you would want to get rid of an old tarot deck. If you feel like there's something wrong with it, then I wouldn't definitely get rid of it, not gift it, but not keep it on your property.
Yeah. What about burning it maybe?
Ooh.
If it's really that situation where, the energies are no good, you really don't want to gift it to somebody else, it just has to be gotten rid of. I wonder if burning would be a good idea. I don't know. I don't know about the inks and the card stock, if it would be toxic or something. But yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know, if dumping it in a public garbage is okay. But
yeah, I mean, having been in this, whatever community for long enough, I find that if you find that there's an energy attached to something, you really think twice before you burn it, because what you're doing is actually, you're igniting it, you're giving it more energy, and then you're releasing it.
Right.
So it's actually not going to be stuck to anything anymore. It can do what it wants. So
interesting. I was
just with Ouija boards, you never, ever, ever burn a Ouija board.
Right. The idea came to me because I was thinking of something similar as, you might do it in a full moon ritual, writing something down and then burning it to release. So, but yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. If that's what you're doing and you're doing it in a ritual and stuff. Sorry, we were talking about kind of if something was attached to it, if there's some funky energy, that's kind of what I meant. Just be careful with burning it in that thing. But yeah, if you're using it for ritual, for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything Elena said. I love the idea of maybe getting rid of it at a crossroads or something. That feels very powerful. But yeah, if it's just not resonating with you, definitely gift it. If you're not in a position where you feel like somebody you can gift it to, maybe a swap with somebody. Maybe there's a deck that they have that you might really want, or I don't know if you have it where you live, but we have these things called free little libraries. And basically it's take a book, leave a book kind of thing. And I always look for old tarot decks because I really would like a secondhand tarot deck. I just want to see what it would be like. But dropping one in there might be a cool idea.
I think that's really cool. Like, because I've been to certain cities where they have those, and it would be so cool to open it and not find a book, but to find a deck.
Yeah.
Like, it would be so awesome. Like, even if like some teenager found it, and then it struck them on their tarot journey. Like, that would be so cool.
That's like the first time I ever went to Walmart and saw a tarot deck on the shelf. I was like, what? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I usually just gift them on my end. I gift them.
Right.
I'll just save them and use them in ritual. I mean, I've even at one point I cut one up into little pieces and then I put it in like spell bottles. So I've done that.
Oh, wow.
And
That's cool.
yeah. And I mean, you can always just sell them. There's nothing wrong with selling them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, let us know what you decide to do. I'd be very interested to know how that goes, because I think it will be different depending on the reason that you want to get rid of them, right? So, okay. So, yeah, thank you for sending in that question. That was a really good one. I'd never even thought about that. So that was a nice little challenge. Let's move on to our little trip down memory lane and let's chat about some of our favorite episodes from season 2. I mean, we said this before we started recording, but I honestly can't even believe that we're at the end of season 2 already. Like,
Yeah.
how did 2021 already get to June?
I know.
I'm still a little
Ridiculous.
floored on that myself.
I can't even think about it. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's just, I feel like I haven't even had time to catch up from January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly had so much fun recording the interview episodes that we did because it was just different.
Yeah.
And I know it was weird at first, but it's just really cool to learn more about each other and just being comfortable interviewing people. But I also really, really enjoyed when we did the personalities episode.
Yeah.
I think that was like my second favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, those are some fun ones.
Yeah.
This was hard. This was so hard for me. Okay. So the first one that came to mind was the personalities, cards and personalities. And I think it was mostly because I wasn't on it. So it was really exciting to I even said to you, like, I'm not going to listen to it until until it's live. That's it. And that was so fun. I got the full experience and you both cracked me up, of course, obviously. So I think that might be my favorite because it was just so exciting.
Aww.
I mean, yeah, the interviews were amazing. I love just chatting with people and that. And I don't know, like I loved when we interviewed Jasmine because just always brain candy. And then the bonus episodes when I learn more from that's just blows my mind every time. And now, I mean, I guess I just can't wait to interview Elena next.
I know. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yay. But I like when we have the guests. Like, it's refreshing just to hear what they bring, special gifts and, what they have going on, whether it's podcasting or astrology or a tarot deck. Like, I just think it's just fun to connect with amazing people and learning from them. So that was always fun to listen to, is the interviews that you did early on.
Well, because it's like we see these people online all the time, right? And then when you're interviewing them, it's like these are like real people. We laughed and had fun together. Like it was humbling, I guess, but super cool. And I just loved it.
Yeah. And so speaking of the interview episodes, my top pick is way back at the beginning of season 2, our interview with Samara. And it's not that I necessarily enjoyed that episode more than our interview with Danielle or our interview with Bobby, but it's just that was our first one. And I can speak for myself and say that I was incredibly nervous to interview somebody, and especially somebody that I have so much respect for and was so interested to hear what they had to say. But Samara was such a lovely guest. Like, they just made it such an easy thing to do and really inspired, I think, all of us to continue doing it and to do more of it. And so it just, when I'm looking back, I was like, yeah, that's the one. And they just had so much great insight into tarot that I had never really heard before either, and I think points of view that don't often get heard enough. So it was really great to hear that on the show and have that conversation. And yeah, they were just great. And They have a new podcast, actually. So if you look up Kasai Thrive on Instagram, that's Samara. They have a new podcast. It's called Intuitive Wellness. I haven't had a chance to listen yet, but I'm sure it's fantastic. And maybe they'll have to come back on.
It's only available on Spotify.
Oh, okay. Only available on Spotify. But
good to know.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll love it. I'm sure listeners will love it. I mean, Samara is just full of so much wisdom. And yeah, maybe we'll have to do a second interview, a follow-up with her and her, with them and their podcast partner, excuse me.
Absolutely. Well, I did catch a couple of episodes. And yes, absolutely. Yeah. Just yes.
Nice.
Stamp of approval.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I do have one runner-up as well. I guess it's kind of a two-parter runner-up, but the numerology episodes, and specifically because of Yentl. I mean, that was just so funny. I mean, we just laughed so hard. I'm pretty sure that's the episode that we just had to remove so much laughter because we were just going on and on and on. But not only that, but because of when this whole Yentl thing came together in the part 2 episode of numerology, I said something about if you're a fan of the Barbra Streisand movie Yentl, like you're going to love it, except I accidentally said lentil. So then we got a good laugh about that, and we had to like re-record that whole intro bit, and that's just such a good memory, so it had to go on the list as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a good time. My stomach hurts so much. Oh my gosh, right? Days.
Yeah. I'm having like flashbacks to the tummy pain.
Yeah. Worth it. Totally worth it.
Totally worth it. Yeah. But yeah, and I feel like that lentil bit, the patrons probably know what I'm talking about because I'm sure I left that in the behind the scenes. But
I'm pretty sure you did.
Just another example of the gold that the patrons are getting.
Oh my gosh. Those are good times.
This has just been such a fun season. I feel like it's really, when we look back at the beginning of it, it's just really evolved and taken on its own personality that's so different from season 1. And it's just been so cool to watch the show grow and change and all those kinds of things. And I'm so looking forward to season 3 and our journey into the major arcana.
I was thinking about that today. I cannot wait until we start hitting the major arcana.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
And I was actually really excited that we started with more of the minors because in most cases, I've noticed the major arcana is what everybody hits first.
True.
So I was really happy actually that we didn't intend to do it that way. It just kind of happened that we hit those first. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Because we're just ass backwards. That's all.
You know, whatever. I mean, we started during a Mercury retrograde. We're finishing this season during a Mercury retrograde. It is what it is, you know?
We are fearless.
And I never follow really rules. So, you know, there's that.
All right. Well, now we're going to do a little bit of a reading. I guess that's just going to be the rest of the episode is just kind of pulling cards and doing some readings, which I hope is a thing that we're going to do more in season 3. So we'll give you a little preview of what that might be like, I guess.
Yeah. Little ASMR with the card shuffling too.
Yes, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna do the Tarot Coven Tarot Spread, basically. Real people, real talk, real magic. So I'll pull real people. Elena, you pull real talk. Jekanovia, you pull real magic.
Real talk.
Sounds good?
Real. Yes.
Sounds good to me.
So listeners, we're all using a version of the Smith-Waite deck. And we're each just going to pull the one card and
I'm just going to jumble these cards up and just pick a card.
I know. So Elena is using the tiny tarot and I'm so intrigued. Like, how do you even shuffle or do you just, jumble them up and then pick?
You put them in a bag. You put them in a bag.
You know what? I think I'm going to put them back in my bag and do that because...
Oh, yeah. That's what I do with mine. They're in a little drawstring bag and I just shake them up and pick one.
So I accidentally flipped over the 3 of Swords and I'm like, no, these are going in the bag. I'm like, oh, fuck this.
That's what it was supposed to be.
No, it's not. No.
I'm going to laugh so hard if Elena pulls.
Guess what's coming out of that bag?
What's coming out of this moment bag? Let me see. All right. I got the 8 of Pentacles.
Okay. Okay, 8 of Pentacles for you. I'm going to pull that out as well. So everybody, I got for real people, I got the King of Wands. If you guys want to pull it out.
And for real magic, I got the sun.
Cute.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so it's King of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and the Sun. Well, so I guess maybe while you guys are looking, maybe I'll just go through and give my initial thoughts, and then you guys can do the same. Like, I'm thinking we just do some really quick thoughts, and then we'll move through all of those specific things afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the spread, real people, the prompt there is my authentic self. Real talk is my inner truth. And real magic is my unique gift. And I feel like we can just talk about this as we're sort of maybe reading for somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be about any of us, I don't think. We could just do it, you know, like we have a client in front of us or something.
Yeah. It's for every listener, no matter what, when you're listening, now or in the future.
All right, so the first thing that is coming to mind here is for real people, my authentic self, the King of Wands. I mean, you're a leader, you're a visionary, you've got some really great ideas, and you've been able to, I mean, authentic self, maybe you're hiding it a little bit, but like this person really wants to come and shine through you. Like you've got these great ideas, you've got a vision, you've got to share it with people. For real talk, my inner truth, you like a routine. You like to do, you like the work. You like to do the methodical stuff as much. Maybe people see you more as that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. The point is, there's this side of you. The truth there is that you love to do this kind of work. You love the hard work. You love to just see things through. And then for real magic, my unique gift, I think to me right now, the sun is saying that the unique gift is spreading joy and bringing happiness. And maybe it is that you're able to shine your own light. But there's something about being able to give joy to others that's really coming through for me in this moment.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm still trying to find the King of Wands, but it's okay. I really love what you said, though, about the start of the King of Wands, because it's what I was thinking about when I was looking at the Eight of Pentacles. Like, this person does love routine, but I feel like they are the type of person that what they talk about, they're going to do, they do it. And they love the hard work about it. Like, they don't mind putting in the hard work.
Right.
Over what they want to accomplish, because they know that at the end of the day, it's going to be something that's going to impact their life or impact other people because of the King of Wands. So I think that routine is very important to this person, because I think that they don't do well with outside distractions. So sometimes I think that this person is going to want to maybe find time to shut the world out, to just focus on what they have in front of them. And then I think for the, what's the prompt? Real magic, unique gift. Like you said, it's spreading joy to those around them, but always remembering to stay true to your values. If you say you are this kind of person, this leader, this King of Wands, and you are this hardworking person, but your values have to match that. Like and by doing that, you stay authentic and you inspire others to want to do that and want to improve on, master a skill, or I'm lost now, but you know what I mean.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
I love what you said there about the King of Wands and Eight of Pentacles. I'm forgetting it now, but because I got lost in your talk about the sun, but you nailed something that I was looking for. So
awesome. And you nailed something I was looking for.
Well, perfect.
We're in sync. And not the group.
No, not the group. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so for the real people, we've got the King of Wands. Okay, so your authentic self is where your power lies. It doesn't lie in, kind of following in other people's footsteps or doing what other people say you should do, or, trying to fashion yourself after someone else, or, it's okay to admire people, but copycatting them it's not going to serve you where you want to go. And so the real talk is walking that talk, following your inner truth, and not kind of seeking outside validation. Because if you're doing something that no one's done before, they are going to tell you that, it can't be done because they've never done it. So of course, in their mind, it can't be done. So you're just going to follow your inner truth. Don't sway. And with the sun, that's that illumination. That's that period of time where it's like, okay, see, I told you I could do it. And that's when you kind of unleash that magic onto the world. So your unique gift is whatever this thing is with your inner truth. So only you can figure out what this is. But when you do figure it out, you're going to have that aha moment. Like, you're just going to feel inspired, and like you'll just know that you're on the right track, regardless of whether anybody else agrees with you or not.
Love that. That's great.
Yes. I love the copycat thing.
Mm-hmm. And I really like the way there's something about the way you framed it. I don't know why, but in my head, the first two cards, for some reason, were coming in opposition to one another, but you reframed it in a way where that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And I really like that take.
Well, I could see that though, because like if you are following that inner truth, your authentic self, it's not going to look the same. So it's going to be a lot of hard work, and you're not going to want to do it. And you're naturally going to want other people to, support and follow and say, yes, you're on the right track, but it's just not going to happen. So, just do it anyway.
Right. And I think like another thing that was coming up for me as I'm looking is, I think maybe this is why I thought, you want to be this King of Wands. You want to be this more visionary leader, expressive type person, but you actually really like sort of the behind the scenes work of it as well. The two cards are facing away from each other too, right? So there does seem to be like a barrier between the two, maybe, or like a bridge that needs to be a gap that needs to be bridged, I should say.
That's true. Although the King of Wands also could be looking at the past and what he's learned in the past.
Ooh, I like that idea.
And then he's taking what he's learned in the past and using it to build a future.
True.
That's,
Yes.
Full of sunshine. So that's just, another way to reframe it.
Yep. And then even at the end of the line with the sun, it's so forward facing and open. So if we're just looking at the three cards, sort of without even like the prompts there, the ultimate outcome does feel more open and just open and more vulnerable and more all there and looking ahead and yeah.
And I think too, another thing about the unique gift is you don't have to know, you don't have to identify it. You don't have to have that set in stone when you start. It's okay to figure it out as you go. Just follow your intuition.
True.
Yes.
Follow what gives you that joy.
Yeah.
Maybe while he's in his workshop working or doing the work, he's trying to figure out, well, what is it that really brings me joy? And I love how like the two cards they're not facing each other, but they're obviously in the work of something. And then the outcome is the sun. Like it's this bright burst of just amazing.
Yeah, very true. Both cards, another way to reframe that too, is that the King and the 8 are both very focused.
They really are.
Okay, so do you guys want to go through and maybe talk about the suits and the elements and how that, I don't know whether or not it's already influenced what you gals have been saying about the cards or how that might change things. We've got wands, pentacles, and the major arcana. So we've got fire, earth, and then some people say spirit or just kind of all of the elements combined. Do you guys have like a different approach with that, or what do you consider when you're looking at the element of the majors?
Well, it depends on the reading. Like for this one, for the sun, it would be your earth and your fire combined to create the sun, because the sun is fire, and then you've got sunflowers and, the animal, the human. So
right.
Yeah,
definitely that way. But there's that fiery passion. Like, so you can have all the earthly hardworking skills you want, but unless you've got passion, it's not going to take you there. You've got to find that passion first.
That drive, that's something that's going to create the work, help you create the work.
Yeah, that fire.
The solar plexus.
Yeah, and so the authentic self has all of that fire and drive and determination. But then when we look at the 8, it's like that's where the grounding comes in, and that's where like the laying one stone at a time is kind of happening. And I love that you're saying that the sun is fire and earth together, because it just happens to work so nicely with this spread. And once again, being at the end of the spread and kind of combining everything and bringing it all together for, the most authentic of expressions in the end.
Yeah. And I think too, like you're never going to find that inner truth unless you accept and embrace your authentic self. So that just follows it right through. Follow that passion, find your truth, ground that passion into your earthly existence.
Ooh, I love that saying, earthly existence.
I think that's the perfect way to describe this mix of the fire and the earth to ground the passion. Yeah, because and I mean, even just thinking about the sun, and if we think about the actual sun, like its heat and its warmth and its vibrancy, right? The spread feels like bright. It feels warm. It feels inviting.
That's what the end, like the end card gives me, like that their success, like even though there's going to be a lot of things that'll happen during the process, like it might not always be easy. The success, the outcome is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I love how like the little human sitting on the horse, they're like throwing off this big red cape. So it's like this unveiling, like voila, after everything's done.
And it's I like how they're in the other two cards, the king and the Eight of Pentacles, they're all clothed and they're very kind of shut off. Like they're very I don't know, like they don't feel like they're going to be sharing much of themselves, but then here in the sun, they're naked and they're free. Like they're more vulnerable. Like they've learned that it's okay to be themselves and be open and free.
Okay, so the next thing sort of on our list was to go through the spread in terms of numerology. Now, for me, I mean, I don't really apply a lot of numerology to the majors. I kind of look at them in terms of their different lines. So, like, there's a line 1, a line 2, and a line 3 of the majors. The sun would fall into line 3, and it's very near the end. So, I guess we could consider that like I don't know, like an 8, 9, or a 10 card, maybe, just off the top of my head. Then we've got, do you guys have any sort of differing opinions on that or other ideas?
No, I agree with the it being a 10 card because of, the 9 and the 1 is a 10.
Right.
Because I normally do that if I see a major arcana, I'll just break down the number and then see if there's any other synchronicities with other cards in the spread.
True.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how I do it.
Okay, so we've got a 10 with the sun, or we've got like something that's sort of in the final stages anyways. Then we've got the 8. And then again, like with court cards, I'm not really using a lot of numerology. Do you guys apply numerology with court cards?
I don't.
No.
Okay. So then why don't we just look at the 8 and at the sun? I mean, to me, there is something that suggests like maybe if this person was looking for some answers on like how to move forward and trying to tap into those inner spaces and figure things out. Like I would say that they're close to figuring it out. Does that make sense? Because it's towards the end of, because it's like 8 or 10. So that's towards the end of the sort of numbering scheme.
And what I like about the 8 is that it is a number of action, I believe, and then like just mastering and accomplishment. So I feel like it goes perfectly with the sun.
Right.
Yeah. And I do like even just the figure 8, it's a sign of infinity and everlasting abundance. And he's creating that in this card. He's creating that everlasting abundance and stability and taking his time and really putting his back into it.
Well, are there any symbols that you girls want to chat about? I can't remember if any of these cards came up in our symbols episodes. Although for some reason I feel like maybe Elena talked about lizards at one point. But maybe that was season 1.
I think that was season 1, and that was the first symbol that I actually looked at earlier when we were comparing the two facing, like they had their back to each other.
Right.
That's when I noticed all the lizards, and I was gonna note that, but then I thought, oh no, that's season 1, I think.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, if you remember anything specific about the lizards, it's been so long for me that it's not coming to me, but
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that there is something that has to do with like the lizard chasing the tail, but I couldn't remember what I had said about that. And I know the lizards are linked to the sun, so it makes perfect sense that, we have the sun card here. So I think that's a really nice connection.
Okay, lizards for King of Wands and Page of Wands, rebirth, passion, change, adaptable, and making small thought out moves for greater success.
That fits.
Perfect.
Totally.
8 of Pentacles in there.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at these lions on the King of Wands, and I'm thinking like, the courage and the pride and the regality and almost the royalty kind of thing. But I'm thinking it takes a lot of courage to look behind you and see where you've come from and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that courage.
It's really giving me that strength card vibe too. This spread is giving me strength card vibes.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because just the sun's association with Leo, you know, the sun being the planetary ruler of the sign Leo. So then we look to Leo's card, which is strength. And yeah, and just that brightness and the fiery energy and the warmth that I also feel from this spread. I'm totally getting that vibe. And I think maybe, you know, there's a lot of red and yellow coming through in this spread, at least with these cards, right? And I did cover those colors in this season's episode of The Symbols. And I know that red was a lot about passion and action, and desire and strength was a keyword for that as well. But like power, leadership, courage, there we are again with courage. Can also be a little impulsive, but I don't know that we're feeling so much impulsive energy from this spread, to be honest. It feels more of that strength and courage energy. And then the yellow and gold angle would be sort of that warmth, right? Growth, a bright future. We're awake and we're conscious and we're thinking about things and the possibilities and joy and abundance. So
my eye keeps going back to the 8, where he's got the hammer and the chisel and everything, and he's sitting on his bench, and all I can think of is like, it's the symbolic of, you need the right tools, invest in yourself. Like, you know, you can't do a good job unless you have the right tools. So whether that's something you need to learn or something you need to invest in money wise or time wise, you got to do it.
Right. And I feel like with his outfit, it's like he doesn't care. Like, he's focused more on, like, he's not worried about material possession. He's not worried about like the financial part. He's just focused on the now so that he can get to the success. Like, he's not worried about overspending or like, because when I was looking at this card and you were talking about it, I heard, where are you putting your money? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. So
I'm so sorry I'm sitting here laughing, but just the way you put that, I was like, that is a nice way for her to say that she does not like this man's outfit or this person's outfit.
I don't.
Like, Elena thinks you look like trash, but like...
I mean, in his defense, he is wearing an apron.
Yeah, he looks like a mess, but it's okay. He's okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, what actually came through in more seriousness was like, okay, he has to, or they have to, I should say, have to have like a certain work uniform on, but the tights and the shoes are still red, so that like passion is still coming through.
Yeah. And you know what's cool is if you take the King of Wands and then you put like the 8 of Pentacles a little up top and then the Sun up top of the 8 of Pentacles, it's almost like the king is picturing his old dream. Like this, he had to go through the hard work and the dedication, and maybe he didn't have anything when he first started, but then he accomplished what he needed to accomplish. And the Sun, you know, with the Sun, and now he's just sitting here on his throne.
Totally.
Like, I feel like that's his daydream. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's like your authentic self is this person that's worked so hard to get where they are. And the truth of that is that you worked so hard to get to where you are. Like, you put in the time. Maybe people see you as more of like oh, you're just this like kind of bossy person, and how did you get that position or something like that? But actually the truth is you worked so fucking hard to get there.
Hell yeah.
Well, that actually is a good point. That can tie right into the Sun. Maybe maybe not recognizing the work that you've put into this? You're not recognizing the value you're bringing to the table.
Yeah. So good. I feel like the
3
last
cards
thing...
and we're just going crazy on them.
I know.
Yeah. Well, and I love that we're, you know, looking to all of the things that we broke down this season, because it's like we said each time, it's like just another lens of looking back at the cards. You can go through the spread so many times and just keep pulling out new information. And I feel like we're showing that as we move through, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, we can keep going. I feel like the last thing on our list, though, was to think about the court cards and personalities. I wasn't sure if we would even get a court card in the spread, but we did. Is there something that comes immediately to mind for the personality of the King of Wands?
I mean, I know they're very bold, and I feel like I just feel like it's the 8 of Pentacles, because they're just goal oriented and they're just like all about knocking out their goals. And I do feel like they have a little bit more of a mature attitude, but it's because they know like the work that needs to get done. Like, they have shit they want to accomplish. They have shit that they want to do.
Well, just to pull in some of the notes from that episode, when we were talking about the King of Wands in terms of jobs and careers, I suggested maybe they could be like a director or a showrunner, like of a television show, something in very high level management, or the CEO of a company that really grew from nothing, which is really what we've been talking about.
We're some bomb ass witches. I had to throw that out there.
Yeah. And then just some other things from that episode: visionary, trailblazer, driven by a need to leave an impact, somebody who lifts as they climb, the kind of boss who still does the dirty work that their employees do, a very honorable person, a pillar in the community. So I feel like that's all really fitting in nicely.
Yeah, they're assertive, like they take control of their life. So it's like if it's shit, they're gonna figure out how to get out of it and do the work to get out of it.
Well, we will definitely take a picture of these cards and share it on the Instagram, and we'll share it on the Patreon, I think, as well. And we'd love to hear what you guys think about this spread. Like, what comes through for you for each of the cards? How does it change when you start layering all of the different lenses over top of it? Yeah, definitely let us know. We'd love to hear all of the different perspectives on it.
Yeah. I always love like when you look at them and you figure out how they are, what they mean when they stand alone, and then you start finding the connections between them, and it just goes deeper and deeper. So
oh yeah,
this is weird, but something popped in my head. Like, what if somebody just decided, I'm gonna name these core cards?
Cute.
And I don't know why, but the name Krys just popped in my head for the King of Wands. I don't fucking
Okay.
know what the hell, but I
like
heard the
it.
word Krys, and I'm like, damn it, Krys.
Do you know like a Krys with red hair or something? Like, is it coming from something you know, do you think?
No, I didn't know what I just in my mind that just an idea popped up, and then I just heard the name Krys, and I'm like, is that you? Is that your name?
All right, well, it is now.
Krys now.
God, I'm so fucking weird.
No, you're amazing. And I mean, you're weird, but like that's a good thing. And
That's a very good thing.
The King of Wands is now Krys. We all know it.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
We're on a first name basis.
We are. His name is Krys.
Krys. I love it.
And he's forever going to be the Eight of Pentacles to me now. Like when I see the Eight of Pentacles, I'm going to think, oh, Krys, there he is on the beginning of your journey.
Yep. You're going to be king one day.
You're going to be king one day. Just keep going at it.
I mean, honestly, in the Eight of Pentacles, the person's hair is kind of red. At least in the Smith-Waite Centennial. It's like very reddish brown.
Enough.
So
True enough.
Just saying.
Krys is doing big things.
Way to go, Krys.
I know. I'm proud of you, Krys.
Way to go, Krys. All right. Well, let's move on to just pulling like some random cards. I was telling the gals before we started recording that earlier today I was trying out this thing where I would just pull 2 cards and see how they kind of talk to each other. Then I would put a third card out and see how that really changed the energy. Then I would get rid of the first card, add in a new card, and so on and so forth. And I think it was Jekanovia, you said it was like a movie, and that's totally like what it felt like. It was a really fun exercise. So
like a movie plot.
Yeah. How should we make this work? Like, who should pull cards? Like, do you guys want to pull each a card and then I'll pull the third one that we bring into the mix afterwards?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to mix my cards up right now.
And like, I don't really think we need to do any sort of specific spread. Like, we can just talk about how the cards feel with one another.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I got the High Priestess.
Okay.
Hey, what am I doing there? All right. So I got the douche. If the listeners remember from the Symbols episode.
I forgot the douche.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the High Priestess and the douche together.
Okay, but for listeners who like maybe this is their first episode for some reason, we've got the High Priestess and the Two of Cups, yeah?
Yes, Two of Cups, High Priestess.
Yeah. And if you don't know why we were calling it the douche, you got to go back and check out the Symbols episode. Then you'll figure it out.
You got to hear it in context. It won't be as good unless you hear it in context.
I guess that was another episode that we kind of lost it, and I probably had to take out a lot of laughing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Guaranteed.
All right. So who wants to kick us off?
All right. Well, I mean, the first thing I noticed is the one figure in the Two of Cups looks a lot like the High Priestess, maybe younger.
What if that's the higher self of the high priestess with like her twin flame or her counterpart because of
Guiding her?
because of the snakes, like it reminds me of the Kulandini, because I'm getting a lot of like love and understanding from this card from the Two of Cups.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about, I mean, I always and forever will see Jekanovia's point about the body language being a little bit hesitant in the Two of Cups. And so I like this idea of the high priestess being the higher self and maybe this person was asking a relationship question, and the thing that would come to me is like, you really need to tap into that inner wisdom and that inner space. And like, is this the right move for you? Maybe it is, but you just need to make sure that you are moving forward with that intuition in mind and with that gut feeling in mind. Like maybe this is not a situation where data, facts, and logical answers are going to come in handy. This is a situation where if you're going to enter into this partnership, you're the expert on this. You have all the answers. You got to turn within and figure out what's going to be right for you.
Yeah, and only enter in on your own terms.
Yes.
Exactly. I was just going to say, set your boundaries and call the red flags. Like your intuition will tell you that's a red flag, and then you just have to pay attention to them.
And never argue with your intuition. When your intuition says red flag, don't second guess it. Don't tell your intuition to shut up. That's always a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Real life advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it can be tough because sometimes intuition can get mixed up with other things, and it's hard to know like what's giving you those signals. But the longer you work with that, the better you become at distinguishing.
Yes.
And honestly, maybe
Always
that's
pay
what these
attention.
two cards are about is, maybe you need more time with that before you make a decision to move forward.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, maybe it's a time to sit with that ability, like to strengthen your intuition so that you feel like you can trust yourself more, especially in partnerships.
I'm really feeling like the bottom of the High Priestess's gown, it's very watery. It looks like a waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
And plus she's got the water behind her, so it just fits in with the cup energy as well. But the pillars behind the High Priestess also looks like two cups.
Oh,
I actually have a ceramic cup that looks like one of those, believe it or not.
That's cool. That's such a good catch, too. I really like that. Because I was just about to say it could also be that you're being called to share some of these intuitive gifts with somebody else.
Ooh.
So are you guys ready for a third card?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I got the 10 of Cups.
Oh.
So this whole spread feels so ooey gooey gushy mushy to me. I love it.
I know.
And I think first thing that is coming to me with the 10 being at the end of the spread here is just like if you are doing all of that intuitive work and you are making sure that you're entering into this next partnership with, the utmost respect for the way that you're feeling in your gut, really great things are coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Two of Cups, like times, infinite. You get that. Yeah.
So I'm just seeing like this completely running through the whole thing. Okay, so the High Priestess is like her waves of her dress. In the 10 of Cups, you can see them in that river. Okay, so that's one thing. And plus the two people in the 10 of Cups look a lot like older versions of the two people in the Two of Cups. So maybe that's their happily ever after.
Oh, wow.
Took a chance on each other. And then now they've got their little adopted kids or whatever, dancing nieces and nephews, whatever they are. Everybody's happy.
I'm going to just do a little like not devil's advocate, but just a little bit of like another point of view thing here. But maybe the 10 of Cups is almost a warning in a way of like, because the 2 is in the center. So the High Priestess being on the one side, the 2 in the center, the 10 on the other side, something is saying to me like, don't romanticize what might be, like live in the moment. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Remember to check in with the intuition. Like that's further out. What's right now is just these two people, like you and this other person. So
yeah.
Just maybe that was devil's advocate. So just to play devil's advocate then.
I've got something to totally support that. Okay.
Okay.
So let's look at the background in the 2 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. So in the 2 of Cups, there's that little tiny house in the background, those little baby trees that, see where the hill is and everything. In the 10 of Cups, all that stuff still there, but it's years later. Look at all the growth.
Oh,
Yes.
you're right.
Yes.
It takes time. You cannot rush it. So that just totally
Yes.
supports what you just said.
Totally.
And
And it's even,
expectations.
yeah.
Like, yeah, you can't set like those expectations because then you just disappoint yourself. Like you just have to let it flow. Let it happen.
So, doll, if he's proposing on the second date, run away.
Run. If he tells you I love you and you haven't even met in person, get the out.
Oof, all
Let someone
right.
tell me that. I was like, get out of here, block.
I mean, like maybe if you'd been talking for years and years and years, but I'm guessing that's not the situation.
Yeah.
Hell to the nut. I was like, you are creeper vibes.
Okay, I say we put the High Priestess back in the deck, and Jekanovia, you want to pull us another one?
I'll pull another one. Here we go.
So to me, like without the High Priestess, these two cards, like the 2 and the 10, feel a lot more positive to me in this moment. Like if we're trying to come at it from a blank point of view, it's just like this new partnership might be really harmonious for you.
And I like to, with the, the douche hovering over, because that's a symbol of health, right? So it has to be a healthy relationship. You can't fake, like Jasmine was saying, you can't fake that. It has to be legitimately, authentically a healthy relationship in order for it to work.
Yes.
So,
and I think what you were saying before, sorry to interrupt, what you were saying before though about, taking the time, the 2 does suggest like you're entering into a balance, you're entering into something like make sure it maintains that balance and look what can happen down the road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled, to anybody who's already listened to our interview with Jasmine, I pulled Jasmine's not so favorite card.
Oh no.
The Chariot.
The Chariot.
Yeah. There it is. Well, okay, so the first thing I'm noticing, there are wings on the front of the Chariot. They align pretty much, kind of the same idea as the wings on the douche here. So like there's some kind of an influence of the Chariot pushing this whole thing forward. Okay. So they're involved. Also, the robes kind of hanging over top of the Chariot's head, the driver's head, match the robes of the woman.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she's the one who is bringing this to the table. She's the one in control. Sorry, they are. I shouldn't say she. In my mind, it's a woman. But yeah, so that person is kind of the one coming into this in control of emotions and, following their intuition. And it's almost like the other person in the picture has to maybe rely on that or is learning how to use that intuition. So there's a lot to be learned there. There's the balance. Okay, so I just noticed the High Priestess we just put away. She's got the moon under her feet. And this guy's got it on his shoulders. Got 2 moons on his shoulders.
Yeah, the whole thing so far has been very water energy because the High Priestess, of course, rules the moon or is associated with the moon, I should say. The Chariot is associated with Cancer, which is a water sign. So this is a very emotional spread. Like this is, definitely leading with love, leading from a place of compassion, moving with the way that you are moving with your mood and allowing your mood to kind of influence things. I mean, maybe not to a certain extent, but certainly giving your moods credit and understanding, the comfort zones that you're in different times of day. I mean, it's always changing, right? Especially when we're dealing with 2 cards that are so heavily influenced by the moon. But to be quite honest, the Chariot at the end of this spread has totally thrown me off for anything other than like an element analysis. Because I always get so like, there's something about this Chariot too that just feels like they have just put a stop to whatever was happening because they're not moving. But perhaps it's like, I don't know. I'm also seeing like maybe a priest, like maybe it's talking about marriage. Maybe that's the end goal or something, but there's also this idea of a standstill just because the vehicle that they're in is stone and it doesn't look like they're moving. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the person is looking for more stability. If that's what they were curious about in this reading, maybe that would be a good thing.
I kind of feel like it might be also maybe they're taking a pause to realign with what are their true values? Like, what is it that they're here for? What is it like? What if something happened and now they need to look at things or see things in a different perspective? Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. And I don't know why I feel like, what if this is the person that represents the man
in the relationship for some reason. I don't know why that came up to me in the beginning when I first saw the Chariot. But I think that they are in a standstill, but it's not a negative one. I think it's more of they are going back to their true values, and maybe it's just a sign of encouragement to keep going in the relationship.
Yeah.
And that things will work out in their favor if they just stay focused, because the Chariot's about staying on the course, taking on challenges no matter what comes in front of them, and just trying not to be distracted by outside influences that may try to distract the couple. Maybe there's some distractions that happen and now they're at a standstill.
Well, I want to build a little bit on what you said about taking time to oh my gosh, what did you say? Like realign with values and rediscover what that path is. Being associated with the sign of Cancer makes me think about the crab and how it does move indirectly. And even though it's moving forward, it's constantly pivoting, kind of like in its indirect sideways movements. So maybe that's something that's coming into play here too. Like, yeah, we do need to take a pause to kind of figure out how to move forward, but it's really just a pivot.
Right.
Yeah. I think too, like, because we were just saying, like, it's made of, like, the chariot itself is made of stone and all that. It's also a reminder, this kind of goes back to the two. So it's that really exciting new relationship, getting into it, getting to know each other, not rushing it. But then, it has the potential to be that happily ever after. But it's almost like, don't disillusion yourself though, because if this is a romance reading, relationships don't always have the fireworks. That goes away after a while. You have to find passion for each other. You have to find other things in common. Like, so you're going to grow together. So it's about that stability and being okay with that. And also, I'm like the Chariot, because it just came across water, right? So did it come across a moat, or did it have to push its way through the water? Did it just float over the water? We don't know. But so there's also that. So it's overcome a lot of emotional turmoil at some point.
Definitely an emotionally driven spread. Okay, do you guys want to try one more time? Same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me pull.
I love that I can hear Elena shaking her bag of tarot cards.
So I got the 6 of Swords.
The 6 of Swords?
Yeah.
I pulled that yesterday for someone. I got the Ace of Pentacles.
Okay.
With the Ace of Pentacles, I figured like it's someone taking that, like their riches or like what they're most valuable, and they're hopping on this boat and then they're going with it somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's like, I mean, if we almost super literally, an opportunity has come your way and you have to travel to take it.
You have to leave behind something
big. It's like, it's a huge opportunity. It's something that is going to, it has a major growth potential for you. It's going to be really sustainable if you, keep your head down and get through it. I mean, not that you should have to do that for every big opportunity, but basically just with the Pentacle suit, it's Earth, we're grounding, we're in it for the long haul, right? And the Ace of Pentacles is just the beginning of that, but it will require you to go somewhere for it. Like this is, like Elena was saying, you're going to have to leave something behind. It might not be the easiest thing, but this will be, hopefully I think the better way forward, and it's going to be worth it. But yeah, and that's just that travel aspect sort of the 6 of Swords. That's not really even diving into, the air element of everything. Sometimes with the 6 of Swords, I see it as like you're maybe in need of a third party kind of advice. So this could be like, oh, this huge opportunity has come up. It's going to mean all of these things. Maybe I can't see the situation clearly. All those swords are sort of in the figure's way. So maybe I need a third party opinion to kind of help me see my way through.
I like that idea. I also saw commuting. Like maybe this job is going to require for you to commute, but it's going to be worth the commute. And there's going to be benefits that you weren't getting before. You're going to start to see the benefits of this big change, but you will never know if you don't pick up what you want and then go on this journey.
And like the
Mhm.
ripples in the water on the one side of the card kind of, or one side of the boat, I think kind of suggests like it might be a rocky start, but it's smooth sailing ahead too.
I feel okay. This is in the last reading I did the same thing. It was like that straight up, maybe not what you want to hear, but it's what it's gonna. It just is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got the Ace of Pentacles first, and then the Six of Swords. So you have this great, amazing opportunity, possibly something to do with money. Could just be something that you just enjoy, something that's going to make your earthly life better. But it's not going to take you anywhere if you don't let go of those limiting beliefs, those bad behaviors, those self-defeating thoughts, and other people's opinions.
Yes.
If you're letting other people steer your boat, you're not going to go anywhere. That opportunity is going to fall flat. And also because he's actually rowing on the rougher side of the boat, you got to wonder, why is he picking that side? Why is he putting his wand on that side? Why is he choosing the rough side rather than the smooth side? So
maybe he's up for the challenge.
Maybe he's up for the challenge for sure. But is it him? And then also too, is it him that was offered the opportunity and he's leaving it behind? Or is there an opportunity there that he's making sure someone else doesn't see?
Okay, are we ready for the third card?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ace of Swords.
Ooh, bringing clarity on the end of whatever you had to leave. And maybe it's going to bring that big picture or answers.
I immediately, what it says to me is a sort of a victory.
So they're going across this lake. They got all kinds of swords in their boat. Okay, first, who the hell would pack their swords like that? Come on, you're going to hold your boat. Let's be smart. Okay, so this sword, it's like they reached into the lake and pulled it up. So maybe by avoiding this grand opportunity, maybe it was, not all things, what is it? All that glitters is not gold.
Right.
Maybe by passing up this opportunity, they reached into the lake, leaving something behind, and they reached in and they found this brand new inspiration and, something way better.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Look at me just having a total mood swing.
And there's water. Isn't there water in the background of the ace? Or is that just mountains? Or is that
I think I've always assumed it's mountains, but you know what? It could very well be water.
Like a stream flowing through or something?
It's hard to tell. Yeah, because there is some bluish color. I'm looking at the Smithwaite Centennial, but it's hard to tell. Like if it's like a wave coming and crashing up somehow or
Well, it could be a mountain because if you look at the Ace of Pentacles through that little gate, there's a mountain and then it looks like they're going towards it and then they get closer to it in the Ace of Swords.
Well, and also too, it looks like it's coming up out of water because it looks like seaweed. Like it's Excalibur. To me, it's Excalibur.
Yes.
That's Arthur's crown.
Yes.
It's water. Definitely like something like you were saying, like you've pulled it out of somewhere and it is this breakthrough and it is this sort of like, oh my God, huge aha moment or But no, I mean, I loved the tough love take, but then the Ace of Swords at the end totally reframes it and makes it feel really positive. Like this is such a great step forward. Okay, so why don't we take out the Ace of Pentacles and then just pull one more card to go along with the Six of Swords and the Ace of Swords?
I know. It's almost as cool as the puppy little click clacks.
Oh, yes.
Clickety clacks.
Yeah.
I have, what the hell? The King of Wands.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this feels even more positive to me.
Whoa. This feels like we pulled from the King's past. Like that was his journey, maybe. And now we're seeing it from the forward. Yeah.
Yes.
Like we just watched the prequel.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
We just watched the prequel. Oh my God, we're fucking boss.
I love that.
How'd that happen?
And look, because he found his crown in the lake when he was willing to let something go. He found his crown.
Yes.
So
Queen,
good.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
good.
honestly, like I'm not really sure where else to go with that because the King just made it so much more positive for me. And I think even just that small visual detail of the crown moving from the Ace to the King. And I mean, even if you just say it like that, moving from the Ace to the King, I mean, you're covering the entire suit. I mean, they're two different
Right.
suits, but still
Yes.
you're going from ace to king. So, I mean,
Wow.
this just feels so, if somebody was asking like, is this the right opportunity? Should I move forward? This would be a huge yes for me. Obviously, we would still
same.
talk about how, you know, it's definitely going to be a transition. There might be some rough waters ahead, but, you know, once you work through it, it'll be better. But I mean, you know, not all journeys are going to be all smooth sailing, right? But yeah, this just
For
feels
sure.
like a big yes, move forward. Huge things are in your future.
Well, yeah, because aces, like in the regular playing cards, right? Aces are that transition. That's the beginning and the end. You
Yeah.
have to let something go in order to move forward.
Right.
It's perfect.
Totally. But it's also reminding me of like, I've talked about it on a couple of different episodes, but it's that anything could be the next everything. So
Yes.
taking this opportunity led you to this huge breakthrough in the Ace of Swords, and you eventually became this king.
Holy shit. We just actually, this isn't the prequel. Because remember how I was thinking, oh, he's thinking of his future, of what it looks like or whatever? What if this is the outcome? Like, he did it,
He's
he left,
He
and he
left the
worked.
Pentacles.
Right, yeah,
And he
yeah,
did
yeah.
it. And then yeah. It could be both ways.
It could be both
For
ways.
sure, yeah. And either way, it feels really, I mean, either way, we're looking at the outcome of the king.
He worked so hard. He got to that sun card in the last spread.
Yeah.
Listeners, this outlines the importance of clarifier cards.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
notice how we
Yeah.
had so many different stories about how this was, and it's adapted as the more cards we pulled.
Yes. And this also, I think, really speaks to the idea that there are so many different combinations when it comes to tarot. There's no
Yeah.
way that you could possibly ever know all of it. I mean, this is the first time that I'm seeing these cards in this way ever because of the combinations.
This is just, I love it.
Yeah, this was
It
a really
almost-
fun
because they're
exercise.
They're so perfect together. It almost sounds like we picked these cards, but I swear, we are all in 3 different places in the world, and we
Yeah.
all picked different cards. We did not plan this.
No, I mean, even last season when we did the reading episode, we pulled the cards ahead of time and we all kind of prepared what we were going to say just to have things flow smoothly. But this was all real time for the first time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just like blown away how this all came together.
yeah, it's so cool. Well, I definitely think that little exercise should be a more regular thing in season 3. I'm sure we can even figure out different ways of going about it, whether or not we put like actual questions on it, something like that. But it just feels like such a fun exercise. And this is the kind of stuff that we used to do when we were just a meetup that was always so much fun,
Yeah.
right? And I think
Yeah.
hopefully it translates. I mean, listeners, let us know if it's not as exciting for you guys on that end. Like, we obviously wouldn't continue to do it, but hopefully you were able to sit down with your own deck and pull out the cards along with us and check out the flow of everything. And as always, we will definitely post pictures of all of the cards that we pulled. And just like with the original spread, like, we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on how they all work together. And if you tried the exercise out on your own, we would love to hear about it.
Yeah, tell us what cards you got.
Yes.
Mhm. What movie did you get? I just realized
Yeah.
Krys is back. This was Krys's movie.
Krys.
There you go, Krys.
The Legend of
See?
Krys.
The Legend of
Oh my God,
Krys.
is that the episode name? The Legend of Krys?
The Legend of Krys. I think that should definitely be the episode.
Season finale. The Legend of
Way to go, Krys.
That
All
is
right, Krys.
perfect. The Legend of Krys. I really like that. That's
And
amazing.
Krys can be male or female. So
Of course,
we're good.
yeah.
Exactly. Krys is genderless.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Oh.
So
is.
let Krys empower you. Maybe you're Krys,
Ah.
listener.
So
do you
good.
Yes. Tap into your inner Krys.
Is Krys our
That has to
mascot?
be a t-shirt, I think. Tap into your inner Krys
With the King
Okay,
of Wands
there's the next
underneath.
one.
with the King of Wands on it.
Gonna
Yeah.
be on a t-shirt.
Oh my God, that's so good. Perfect.
Oh, yes.
I can't wait to do more of this. Maybe we'll do something like that on our Instagram as well. Like, we can post 2 cards and everybody can kind of weigh in on what they feel. And then like the next day we'll add a 3rd card to it, or even a couple hours later, whatever. But that seems like such a fun
Yeah.
exercise. It really like totally got my brain working. So All right. Well, we do have to wrap up this episode. We do have to wrap up the season, but we're just taking a little summer break. We're going to be back, and we will have some bonus episodes between now and season 3. And as we've mentioned a few times, we're going to be covering the major arcana and hopefully having some more guests. And as always, we are super open to any of your suggestions, any sort of episodes or topics that you'd like us to cover. Definitely let us know. Send us a DM on Instagram. Just get in touch. For now, you can always check out the Patreon. We're definitely still going to be over there. And we are probably going to be doing some meetups, I think like once a month for the patrons, since there won't be as much episodes over the next couple months. But head over there if you want to hang out with us during the hiatus. It should be a good time. But until then, keep making magic. Thank you so much for listening to this season. It's been so wonderful.
Thank you for being on this journey with us and all your support.
Thank you, everybody. And don't forget to stay awesome and tap into your inner Krys.
Yeah.
Stay away from douches.
Yep. Good advice all around.
Douches at all cost.
I love you all.
Yes, big love. Have a good summer or have a good 3 months, regardless of whatever season you're in. And like I said, we'll be here for the bonus episodes. And we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this season of the Tarot Coven Cast. Stay tuned for our bonus episodes coming out between July and September of 2021, and for season 3 coming to you sometime in October of 2021. And until then, everyone, keep making magic.